Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the big thing. It is Wednesday, and man, we got a lot of Star Wars news. A lot. The main news, obviously, is the fact that there was rumors for a bit that The Mandalorian was going to kind of scrap season 4 of what it was intended to be and be a film instead. And then there were rumors it was going to be the first one out the gate instead of the Rey movie. And that's exactly what happened, for sure. The question is there still going to be a season 4 of Mandalorian? Jon Favreau is directing this film, as we suggested on this show many, many times, and now that is coming to fruition. Is that the right move to lead with a Favreau movie first? Did it have anything to do with Obey Chinoy's comments and setting the internet on fire, or was it always the plan? Ahsoka, season 2, looks like it's going to happen. Inside of this article, the same thing. People have been asking this question, what the hell's going on with it? And there was like a report not even a week ago. Rosario Dawson was kind of skeptical about it. And, well, maybe it was just her playing coy. So we'll see. We are going to talk about some other stuff. Tales from Jedi or of the Jedi, whatever it is. Apparently they're going to do a spinoff series. I don't know if you hear. Did you hear this?
No.
Spinoff series
like that.
is going to be, I'm not even going to tell Steph. I'm not even tell Steph yet because I want to see what her reaction is. But there's a spinoff series. We'll talk about exactly what that is. That and more on the big thing. If you're brand new to the channel, you've never been here before, click that button, subscribe. We're trying to get to 200,000 faster than we got to 100. We're pushing 120. We just hit 100 not too long ago, and we're pushing 120. So we hope that you guys will be part of the conversation. Join us here today. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. If you want to support the show and you can join Patreon, please do that as well. If you do it soon, you get to 600 patrons. Mike Kalinowski is going to do stand-up comedy for 5 minutes. That's right. Oh, no, we're still going to do it.
I thought that bet was off.
Nope, no one can hear you. Okay, so it is the big thing. It's time to go. Let's do it. No one's going to back Mike up. He wishes they would. No one's going to back him up. You know it's going to happen. Me, not you. Me. What's up, Steph?
Hey.
Hey, what's up, Mike? Wait, what's up, Mike? What's up, Mike? How you doing, Steph? Nice to see you. Nice
So
to
good.
That was a bit.
So good.
Yeah, we're good. Your mic's still on? Oh, yeah, there you go. Wait, hold on, sir. There you go.
Now there we go. Finally, yeah.
Nice
How long
to
you
see
been
you.
doing this?
Not too long.
We need an engineer again.
No, look at it. Come on, be nice. Look
Yeah,
at
your camera shot's good.
the camera.
I look good.
This is good. This is good.
The
This
lighting is good today. You make us all look tan.
Everything
it's the time
looks
of
good.
year.
Everything looks good.
I know I needed the boost.
It's the first time we're back together.
Yeah.
In a while, and the first time, obviously, in 2024.
Yeah, it
Yes.
is.
So happy New Year to you guys. Nice to see you all. What? No?
It's too late to say that.
It's too late to say
Yeah.
that?
What's the rule?
I love Curb Your Enthusiasm, and it was a bit on there.
Is there? Okay.
Like 3 days. You got 3 days.
3 days?
Yeah.
Well, no.
And then it's too late.
It's 10 days.
I'm
all
not
right.
against that.
We're too far into it.
No one cares. All right. So we got a lot, tons of news. Tons
Yeah.
of news. Like even when we were coming up to we were going to do a show together, obviously, this week, and then the Star Wars news drops. So we're like, oh,
Yeah.
well, we definitely have to talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
We've been talking about what movie it was going to be, what they were going to lead with. It seemed like the Rey movie was going to be the first one. That's what everyone thought, even with the information coming out with Obey Chinoy having that interview, which went over like a fart in an elevator. But
That was a bummer.
but overall, they're still going forward with the movie, and as they should. I still think you do a Rey movie. I will tell you why I think leading with this Favreau movie is obviously the smart choice and obviously the better choice. And I have other questions that go into that. But let's get to the actual article from Star Wars Newsnet. Okay, so from our buddy Miguel Fernandez over at Star Wars Newsnet, Mandalorian and Grogu movie to go into production in 2024, and also Ahsoka Season 2 is in the works. So Lucasfilm has announced a new theatrical feature, and it is called The Mandalorian and Grogu. Coming from director Jon Favreau. It will go into production this year, and I only get that noise for the title itself. The movie itself
I
is
agree.
great. In addition, StarWars.com has confirmed that Ahsoka Season 2 is in the works, and this is what Favreau said. I have loved telling stories set in the rich world that George Lucas created. The prospect of bringing the Mandalorian and his apprentice Grogu to the big screen is extremely exciting, Kathleen Kennedy said. Jon Favreau and Filoni have ushered into Star Wars 2 new and beloved characters, and this new story is perfect fit for the big screen. Kennedy, Favreau, Filoni are the executive producers. No writer has been announced, but it seems logical to assume that Favreau will be taking credit. Plot details are unknown. Pedro Pascal furthered the discussion on his Instagram page, adding to the story Ryan Church's concept art along with the Hey Mando theme from Ludwig Göransson, the very first piece of music used in the series. This likely confirms that Pascal will be involved, quelling any fears he might leave the role. Okay, so we'll start with that. We'll get into the Ahsoka thing in a little bit. This makes all the sense in the world. Now, when we were talking about this originally, we said there was a rumor that Mandalorian season 4, because during the writer's strike and there was a lot of talk of when they were going to put that out, how it was going to add into Filoni's movie. And then it was like, okay, well, then there was major rumors that came out a while ago that it could be turned into a film. And then Jeff Snyder reported on it, said the same thing, that it would probably be going into production first, which I also heard at one point. And then I said, it's got, I think it was you and I, it's got to be Favreau. Like, it has to be Favreau. It makes the most sense in the world to make it Favreau, because some people are, well, this will be the Filoni movie. No, because Filoni's going to do Ahsoka, and then he's got to do his movie. What you do with Favreau is the same thing you did with season 1 of Mandalorian. The fan base right now, again, is eating itself alive. So Mandalorian was the show that both sides of the fandom came together and go, all right, this is this kind of Star Wars, and that's what they're trying to accomplish, because they need to accomplish that in a feature film. They have to, if they want success. If they're going to spend $200 million and get it back in, to have any bickering back and forth and having any controversy, no matter how much you believe in your director or not, going into your first movie, and granted, it'll be that movie will the Rey movie will come out in 2026 or 2027, whenever it does, and people forget unless there's more stuff that continues to come out. But it can't be the first one. And this movie, they said, is going into production this year. So, Steph, I'm going to start with that. When does this movie come out? Because if you shoot it this year with a little bit of a writer, well, he wrote the scripts, obviously. It was the Mandalorian season, and they turned it into a movie. When does this movie come out?
I think the Christmas of 2025.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think it makes a lot, because we kept joking, like, 2026, I don't know who I'm going to be then. 2025, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'll still be here, I think. So I'm excited. That makes more sense to me, and I do agree with you completely. I think that he wrote a season 4 or a treatment for it, and it maybe felt better as a movie.
Apparently, he wrote the whole season.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I think that could be a really great. Some of the best movies are from books, right? You have like an entire thing of knowledge and stuff that you're pulling from. So it could be good. That I like that. In last season, it felt like a little exhaustive, some episodes where it could have been cooler condensed into a movie. So I think that that's taking a great opportunity to make it a movie. I think the fans need a movie. I personally would look more forward to a Mandalorian movie than a next season.
2025, December.
Yeah.
Would be fantastic if they can get it done in time. If
Right.
It goes into
No
production
drama.
now. If they can get it done, I think there's a lot of different reasons why I don't think that will happen. One of the reasons is Avatar. I don't think they're going to want to compete with Avatar.
And that's
in 2025.
Okay. Because it got pushed.
It got pushed. So that's already started shooting. They don't want to have 2 of their big releases. So what I think happens, and this is Mike Rowe, I would ask you if you agree with me, disagree with me, but I think that with it's going to be May of 2026, which was supposed to be the Rey date, and then Filoni's movie was going to be 2026 of December. So the question is, do they do okay? Let's hit this strong. Let's do this movie, The Mandalorian, which comes out in May. Ahsoka will come out right after it, which will tie into it. Filoni's movie will wrap that up. Or do they say, no, let's give Dave a little more time. Let's do the movie, the Mandalorian movie in May of 2026, the Rey movie in December, then do Ahsoka, then do Mandalorian season 4 proper, then do whatever else, Skeleton Crew and all those Skeleton Crew 2, if it's good or whatever it might be, then close out with Filoni in May of 2027. What do you think? You have no opinion on the matter?
No, I got a lot of opinions because I want to start this year and be more positive about everything in life.
Can't do it.
I feel right now with Star Wars
Yeah. You have gas?
is DC 6 years ago.
Wow.
They don't know what's going on over there.
Still?
I don't think there's any plan over at Lucasfilm right now with what is going on.
Okay. You think how long ago
is it Kathleen Kennedy going? We're doing 3 movies.
Right.
How long ago is that? Now we got, what, 6 in development?
Right. Well, she did say, no, you're not 3 movies. You mean we're going to do a movie every 3 years.
But they had announced 3.
Well, she said, yes. At one point, she said, we're going to do like event things. We're going to have it come out every 3 years.
And that was after they said, okay, we're pumping the brakes.
Right. And then
listen to this is the thing now. This is the mandate now.
Right.
I don't know what's going on. I have no idea.
Yeah. Do you like this Favreau choice, though?
I'll tell you this.
Okay.
If this movie comes out, Mandalorian and Grogu, I hope that's a working title.
Me too.
Yeah.
I hope to God that is a working title.
I'll tell you why I don't think it is afterwards.
Oh my
I don't think it is either. I think it's it.
Yeah.
It's killer.
I want this movie to come out, and I want it to be the Mandalorian and Grogu, and maybe Grief Karga. And I love Katie, friend of the show. Mm-hmm. I don't want to see Bo in there. I don't want to hear a Darksaber. I don't want to hear a Mythosaur. I don't want to hear a Mandalore. The world is in flames, and we got to go back to it. None of that.
You want it simple.
I want him to be a Western. I want it to be an $80 million El Mariachi Western. Bring the fans back. You got the fans on board with Mando season 1. That brought Star Wars back. And then look where we came since Mando 1, all over the place. Just tell a simple story with that guy and that kid and a far-off galaxy doing Mando shit in the first episode. Just win the fans back, win the audience. Because, again, this can't be insider baseball. This can't be Ahsoka. This is going to be a 4-quadrant Disney, put all their marbles behind this thing, the theme parks, everything. You've got to make it for general audiences. You have to.
I don't disagree with that.
You have to make this simple.
Sure.
I mean, Star Wars again.
You can make it simple if you're just essentially paying, if you just got Brendan Wayne in there and you're paying Pedro for his voiceover work.
Because I was going to say, if they're pushing this, because he's going to be doing Fantastic Four, most likely.
Right.
Yeah, to Steph's point about hitting the thing, they've got it all set up. They got the studio down there. They got the volume. They've got the familiarity of working with the same crew. You can go and knock this thing out.
I hope they don't do volume though. I hope they do relocations.
Me too.
I hope they don't do volume.
Especially for Western.
I know. I don't know. But he was the one that did it so well. It's the other filmmakers that came in that didn't know how to do it. They had to be shared.
But our eyes weren't.
Okay.
We got fooled faster. Now our eyes are.
Yeah, but go back and watch that season 1.
Can't get fooled again.
Yeah, we're figuring.
Fool me again. Well, you can't fool me again.
But I just think that this is. Yeah, they need to do locations. The reason why I think the Favreau choice is so great.
I think it's
so great because
it's perfect.
This is the guy that a lot of circles give him credit, and rightfully so, for basically starting the MCU.
There wouldn't be an MCU without him.
There's no MCU without him. And look at he also did, regardless of what you say about The Lion King. Granted, it was a kind of a shot by shot remake. And the Jungle Book was fantastic too.
I loved the Jungle
Elf.
Book.
All right.
I think he's a great director.
Those movies, those 2 that I mentioned, they just completely changed the technology, and it was ahead of its time, and the things that and he did the same thing with the volume. So if he can actually make a movie, I agree with you. I hope that they scale it down. They make it. They won't. It'll be a $200 million movie.
It'll be a massive space battles.
It should be a $120 million movie. 120. Now,
and you're not paying Pedro.
You're probably gonna have to pay somebody.
You'll pay Pedro, but he's not getting a rate that he would, where his face is the lead of everything.
Right, and they'll probably push him. They'll probably push for.
Hey, Pedro, you're gonna work a week. We got you for you get paid. And I know it's a different scale, but I just want to say this. I want to be positive. Mm-hmm. Of all the Star Wars movies announced,
you're excited.
This is the most. This is the one that I think has the potential to be incredible and be. I don't care about money, but I know people do.
Of course.
The box office success that they need.
That's exactly. No, money is an absolute thing. Because it is. What you just said, though, was the reason this announcement was made.
Yeah.
Because what you just said, that's going to get most people to go, look, I couldn't give a crap about this. I don't even know if that Mangold thing really is going to happen. Who knows what these other movies are? I have no idea. But when you hear Favreau, you hear that they're going to do this Mandalorian movie. Yeah. Okay, now the reason for the title, as much as I think it is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Oh my God.
That's what it's going to be. It's going to be like...
It's not like Batman and Robin.
Yeah, it's this summer. And at the very end of it, it's like, watch a journey unlike anything you've seen in a far, far away. It is Mandalorian and Grogu. It's like, it's so silly, but people know it.
Of course.
Casual people know it.
I know they do.
Casual fans.
They-
So when they say Baby Yoda, when they hear, oh, at first even, who's Grogu? And then it's like, it's Baby Yoda, Grandma. Oh, I'd like to see that one before I crap out.
And that goes back to what they created with the first one.
Right.
That was like a zeitgeist. It was like everyone wanted that Baby Yoda. Like, remember the merchandise, they didn't have it and they had to rush it in. And it's like, I get it. I get the reason they call it that.
100%.
But it has the potential to really be the Star Wars that gets people back.
Right.
I think they're
going.
gonna use. I think they're gonna unmask him way more if it's a movie.
You think so?
Yes.
I don't disagree with the logic.
Oh, yeah.
But as Mike said though, if they're going into production now in 2024, well, first of all, if they are, this has been in the works for a while, and he probably has
I'll
been
say
locked
this.
in.
You want to talk about the schedule?
I can't talk because you cut me off. But go ahead.
But it's on the topic
Yeah,
of
sure,
before.
sure.
Right.
So we think the script is written, pretty much.
Yes.
Superman is hitting summer of 25.
Right.
And that's, pretty much you could say that was being written, maybe he should have been working during the strike or whatever, but they're getting it up in for March. Mm-hmm. This
Not
timeline
March. No, June.
to film.
Oh, to film.
To
Okay,
film.
Okay.
In June of the following year.
Got it.
To film with this one, if they've got a script written, there's no reason they don't hit 25. I think the Avatar thing is a thing.
But
What do you think about summer 25?
That's
You
too
don't
soon.
think they'll Barbenheimer like Mandalorian?
Two different studios, Barbenheimer, Warner Brothers, and Universal.
Avadorian?
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 That was just that was a happy accident.
That was it.
This is like
Yeah.
why if you're Disney and you have had the
Yeah.
year that you had this year, and you know that Avatar is going to crush. Why would you take any money away from
I don't want to hear any of those discussions. Do you think it's going to make $1 billion again?
course it's gonna make
Of course
$1
it
billion.
is.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
The
Why would-
second one slapped.
I
Of
love
course
the
it
second
is.
movie. Why-
Like,
yeah.
But kill Spider.
but you're not gonna get anywhere near you. Why would you do that? Because especially because 2025. I'm actually doing. I shot it already with Sean Chandler. We did a full 2024 preview of the entire year. There's some good releases in 2024. 2025 is everything that had to get pushed because of the strike.
Yeah.
2025 is going to be one of the most, now whether they all make money, I don't know, but it's going to be one of the most massive years in cinema history with the stuff that's coming out. There's like bangers coming out. So to push that into 2025, I think it is more likely that they're going to announce, because they're also, they made it very clear not to announce this, by the way, of when it was coming out, because they're probably going, we don't know yet.
Yeah, they shouldn't.
They're going to target May of 20. My prediction, let's predict it right now. I say May of 2026. What say you now?
Oh,
Now I say that too.
Okay.
They'll have a May the 4th party.
Right.
I'll play opposite you guys, and I'll say summer 25.
Ooh.
I'm just going off of.
I'd make
I
you a
don't know
bet.
the-
I'd make
I
you a
don't-
bet, but you don't pay off.
I don't know what the. Shut the hell up. I don't know what the dates, the calendar looks like for the year, because 2025 you've got Superman.
I'll bring it up.
Mission 8.
So at the moment, May of 2025 is Fantastic Four. So I think that hurts your argument right there. If he is indeed,
That ain't going.
you don't think Fantastic
That
Four is
is
going to
not
land on May
hitting that
2nd?
Nope.
You're crazy.
We don't even have a
definitely hit.
cast yet.
Oh, yeah, we do. It just hasn't
Yeah.
been announced. So Fantastic Four will hit, and that's a Disney movie. So I would say your argument craps out there.
I didn't say May. I said July.
Okay.
I said summer.
All right, summer. Would you?
I said May. So
Okay.
I think I'm out.
You said no. You said May. You said May of 2026.
Oh, 26. Okay,
So,
yeah.
So December initially is what you had said, Steph.
Yeah.
Of 2025.
But I agree with the Avatar.
Yeah. At the current moment, December 25 has Avatar 3, and Cat in the Hat. But I mean, again, nobody's going to want to touch. No one's releasing in December because they don't want anything to do with Avatar.
Right.
That's interesting. They have the Jordan Peele movie. I
When
bet
is-
he changes that.
Maybe, but I mean but not. It just says during 2025.
Oh, okay.
And that says the Batman is in October.
Yeah.
Does that say October 3rd?
It says October 3rd at the moment. That's when it's slated for.
What kind of date is that?
I don't know. I mean, that might be. I mean, that gives me hope for that movie.
Oh, I think.
Even more so. I like the first one a
Yeah,
lot, but
I
I
think
think
they're
it's just
going for the
amazing to-
spooky season.
I mean, I know, but the first movie was set at Halloween. Like,
I maybe, but look.
That
Let me.
was March.
I'm just gonna read real quick.
it came out in March, but it was set in Halloween.
Oh, okay.
I want to read something real. Okay, so this is just some of the. I'm going to read it really fast. This is just some of the stuff that's coming out in 2025, just to give you guys a scale of 2025.
Okay.
Megan 2.0, Paddington in Peru. You got Untitled movies, Captain America: Brave New World, Smurf movie, Snow White, Minecraft, Untitled Disney Universal movies, Exorcist movie, Fantastic Four, Mission Impossible Part 2, The Dead Reckoning, Elio, How to Train Your Dragon live action, Black Phone 2, Moana live action, Superman Legacy, Thunderbolts, Batman Part 2, Blade, Wicked Part 2, Avatar 3. Now, that's just some of the movies. There's tons and tons of untitled projects that haven't even get spots yet. So there is something to be said about 2025 if you maneuver in the right way. I just think that there's no world where they're going to want to do. If Avatar moves every other Thursday though, so you never know.
Totally.
I don't know. I just feel that if it was a new director coming on board to work out a Mandalorian script, and they're just like, hey, we want to develop the Mando as a movie.
Right.
Who are we going to shop to for director? The fact that they have such a shorthand of working together, all those people.
Sure.
And Pedro, the fact that he doesn't have to be on set is such a blessing to that movie because they don't have to work around. Every time movies are like scheduling. Without an actor, he's one of the most highly what's the
Sought
word?
out.
Prolific actors right now. So he's everywhere.
Yeah.
But he can record. He could do that at home from a voice booth if he wanted
Depending
to.
on, I do think that Steph's not wrong though, where I think they'll have some scenes with him for sure, so they can market with him and those things. But I just think that this movie, I don't think they're going to go past. I think it allows them not to rush though if they hit that May 2026 and they push everything else. But it gives you 4 movies though now that you're doing,
Right.
So you think
not including Taika.
we're not going to have a Star Wars movie in 7 years?
7, dude.
19 was the last one.
2019, right? So 7. Yeah, it'll be 7 years.
At least 7. I'm saying 7.
Yes.
No, I'm
you're
saying
saying
6.
6.
I'm saying you'll be 7. And that's not to say, like, I know people come at me like, there was much of time between this and the Phantom Menace. Yeah, I know. And it was a dead period. There were comic books and novels.
Only a lot of people would say that too because it wasn't
now
this wasn't active. It's active now.
It's active now. And to not have it and to be active is weird.
Well,
it's just a
you understand this. You're Patty Jenkins, who you're a massive fan of.
Yes.
You know her movie was supposed to come out about 2 weeks ago.
I know. So I saw a couple posts about that.
Yeah.
They kept posting that thing they made.
That's the thing though.
That's a sad
that
thing.
this is what they still have not learned from. They're still announcing dates.
That's what I'm saying.
But this, I think everybody, even yourself, agree this movie is going to happen.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah, because this script is done.
This
script is done. It's a done script. They said, "Oh, there's no writing yet," because the script's done.
I think they'll tweak it, because for episodic you have to, do chapter breaks and whatnot. I think there'll be a different thing. I think the Taika thing is gone. I think the Mangold movie's gone. Sinead's movie's going.
Which one? What
Mangold and
Mangold's gone. You think?
Mangold and Taika's are gone.
I don't think Taika's
I think
gone.
they are.
I think Taika's gone. I don't think Mangold is gone.
I think they might still be working together, and I think they'll still be plotting along. But I think if another movie comes up that Mangold's interested in, because isn't he working with DC too?
Yeah, he's doing Swamp Thing though, from what they say. But
so I think.
I don't know.
I just think you're think about us guys when we're together, when you get involved with something, but then something else catches your eye that you like more, and you start going. It's like, I'm still working with this, and I'll check in with you, Lucasfilm. But
I'm going to be paying attention to Acolyte, and why I say that is because they, for some silly reason, I think over there have this idea that they don't think they can do anything farther in the past because it's not going to connect, and people are not going to be able to connected to the Skywalkers and all this stuff in that time period. Everything's done in the same freaking time period. Acolyte's not one of those things. So curious to see how that is going to play. And I think that they look at that, and if it does well and people respond to it well, I think that whether right or wrong, they're going to go, oh, okay, maybe we should do this Mangold movie and move forward with it because it is so far in the past. And people love that it was farther in the past. And again, for right or wrong, I think if it doesn't do well, and people complain about the other one, they might go, "Oh, people don't want to see that time period," which again is so the same types of thing that I heard about the Mando movie and everything too. And I said it, and I did a post about it. People are like, "Oh, you're wrong. You're wrong." And I'm not wrong. I don't think Filoni is a big fan of the Old Republic, and I hate that. But I don't think it's gonna happen. We'll see if the High Republic continues, and they're gonna do this thing. This isn't the Old Republic Mangold's movie. This is like the beginning of like the Jedi and the Sith and discovering all this shit. So what's wrong?
I'm just torn. I'm just torn because how you say Filoni's not a fan of that. And I'm trying to for myself put into context because all that stuff was created not by Lucas. It was the books and all that stuff, the games. Whereas let me say let's say James Gunn with DC. If James Gunn made an announcement. It's like, that stuff in the 80s with the Justice League International. I just don't dig that. I would feel like, man, that's not that great. And it'd be great for our universe going forward. He doesn't like one of the seminal pieces of comics, or
Right.
of like, I don't like the Golden Age stuff in DC. I just like modern age on forward. So to have your guy that's in charge of your entire thing going, I don't like this area.
And again, this is
It's tough because-
but it's rumor and
I know.
it's like it's reporting. So it's like maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But I just believe the reporter. So it's like I think that there's just this Mangold movie is something I'd be interested in, and what people this is just how this business is, as you guys know. If you would have told everybody that Mangold's got this movie coming out now, right after Logan, ooh boy, everybody lining up for it. Now people are like, that's the guy that did Indiana Jones, and it's like
You're only as hot as your last
that's
film.
exactly what it
and
is.
It sucks to say that.
It's true,
but
and
it is the think of Hollywood.
So I think that I'm very curious about when that's going to come out. If I'm going to predict it, I do think it'll be May of 2026 is the Favreau movie.
Wow.
I'm gonna say that they're gonna do. I think because if my strategy would be release that one in May of 2025.
Yeah.
Sorry, May of 2026.
You're right.
Release Filoni's movie in December of 2026. Have them tie in together. Have Ahsoka during that time
But
period.
Avatar.
No, it's 2025.
Oh, yeah.
And then 2026, and then push the Rey movie into May of 2027. Because now what you do inside of all of that is you give yourself so much distance. You give yourself, not only with comments and all that stuff, but you give yourself distance with Rey. It'll be, it'll be what, eight years since she'd been on screen, which will be perfect for what they're doing. It's years later. She's building out the Jedi Order, and if these two movies hit, and Star Wars fans are like, woohoo, okay, fine, yeah, I'll see. You guys, look, you did two great movies. Now you guys are back to back great movies. I'll go see a third one. I think you give everybody a cushion in order to do that, and then if Mangold decides he still wants to make a movie, and then you put that out in December of 2027.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. You don't like that plan?
No, I'm.
You just thinking,
but because I'm trying. As you guys talk, I'm listening, but I'm like, okay, but there is a Mando season 4 coming.
We think.
You know what I think they should do?
Yeah.
Here's my thought, my 2 cents.
Okay.
Take it, give me back change if you want.
Okay.
I think Mando and Grogu is a very specific title change.
and Grogu.
I think because that movie, the season 3 ended so perfectly for them. Like, hey, he's back here. I got a little farm. I got a little kid. You got any work? Throw it my way.
Right.
And just do that. I think Mando 4, you make Bo-Katan
Like Unforgiven almost in the movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Mando 4, you make Katie Sackhoff, Bo-Katan, her show. She's a Mandalorian.
People, look,
there's
no one else that would want that more than me.
Let
But
the
I
audience
just think the
know,
audience
like,
will
the
lose
show,
their mind.
But I think if you make it, you gotta. I mean, I don't want her coming out and doing announcements, Kennedy again. But you make Mando and Grogu, boom, you got a movie. You guys earned after 3 seasons. The thing you loved in season 1, we're giving you all of that on his own. Katie, Mando 4, that's her show.
Yeah.
Because remember, people were talking, well, it's called The Mandalorian. It didn't really focus on Bo or on Mando. It's like, yeah, focus on Bo. Well, it's called The Mandalorian. It's just, it was such a good transition to let it go.
I wouldn't want that for Katie, and the fact that
Why? Show for herself?
No, not that.
The fans.
It's because
Fans love her.
They do, but it would be unfair to her because she already got. So I saw her. We see stuff on her podcast too that she'll get shit for, like, oh, you ruined Mandalorian. It's right.
Them.
It's very rare. It's very rare that we see that because it's most people, even people like myself, who didn't love that season. I think she was the best part of the season.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the people were upset because, like, we're seeing 3 seasons of his show and he's not in it.
Right.
Like, but
Right.
now if you make it, I know the information getting out there is tough.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's so perfectly segued into unless season 4 is his story, then you're telling what the movie's going to be.
Right.
Him on that farm.
It'd be interesting. I mean, look, it really depends on what it all needs to lead up to this Filoni movie. Now, the question is, if they are going to do another Mandalorian season, if the Filoni movie is the end of this universe, if it's the series finale, if you will, that's the question. It doesn't seem like it if they're going to do another season of Mandalorian, because they're not going to do that in
And
enough
Ahsoka.
time. Well, Ahsoka would come out before that movie.
Right. So it's
Right,
building to the
that's-
movie.
but that we already. If Ahsoka, and we'll get we'll talk about Ahsoka in just a second. But what I will like to talk to you guys about, Steph, are you you love trade? You love
Yes.
trade coffee. So trade coffee is actually we're doing a lot more with them, and they're here to do a lot more for you guys in 2024 because you need trade. If you haven't had trade, Steph loves to come in here just to smell the coffee. It smells so good. But you want to hit the ground running. You want to hit your New Year's goals. So if you didn't know what it is, Trade is a subscription service that sources the best coffee across the country, and it brings it right to your doorstep. It's one of my favorite things. It's just like it's like Christmas all year round when I get it. It's like I love it. I love the different flavors that they have, and this is the one I'm still about to open. I'm still using my sheet here. Check it out. So, Mike, what do you
Huck,
show
can I open up and can I smell it?
You can smell it. Yeah, go ahead. You open it up. And
like
as
the
Mike,
packaging.
yeah,
It's not
the
open
best.
yet. Can you?
Yeah, open it
you
up.
Sure.
Yeah, please. I've got a lot of different bags, and that one's going to be the next one I use. But I love it. And as Mike is smelling it, it's amazing. What Trade has done also is they built relationships with over 55 local roasters, so you can enjoy their craft from the comfort of your own home. There's multiple ways to experience coffee with Trade. You just sign up for a subscription or try one of their starter packs today. Go ahead, Mike.
It hit.
Is it good? What does it smell?
That smells delicious.
It's really, really good. So the one that he's got is the Huck brand.
Flores Bellis.
Yes, the Flores Bellis brand. And I'm still on the Prosciutto, the Brazilian brand. It's so amazing. The quality is awesome. The convenience of the delivery. So if you want to jumpstart this year, you sign up for a Trade subscription. You do it right now. Trade's offering a free bag with select subscription plans when you visit drinktrade.com/bigthing. If you go to that does smell awesome.
It does.
Really good.
Drinktrade.com/bigthing for a free bag with select subscription plans. Drinktrade.com/bigthing. I mention this all the time, and this is the one, guys. I've talked about this before. Somebody today, sign up for it. Tell me you signed up for it because I want them back. I love them. I've wanted Trade back, and I want them back, and I'd love to have them back, and it would help out the show, and you will love it for sure. And the other peeps that I absolutely love, you guys know I talk about them forever, is AG1. I love AG1 because to me, you've been taking AG1 for a while too.
Yeah.
And so it's like taking care of your health. It isn't always easy. I had this conversation with Riley the other day, and like he's the same as me. Like we were doing our UAP show, and he was like, he didn't know about AG1. He's like, you can get all your vitamins in like one thing. He's like, I can't take a bunch of them. Yeah, you do it all in one because I've been, at least 2-3 years now for AG1.
Yeah.
It's been with the show. It's the best. I take it every day, no exceptions. One scoop, you put it in water, you shake it up, and it's great. I feel energized. I feel nourished. I'm ready to go because it's so good. It is so good. You take one scoop of AG1, you shake it up, I'm ready to go. So if I'm running short on time and I can't mix my AG1 before heading out, I take the little travel packs, which I dig. Love those travel packs. And there's an individual serving of AG1. It's easy to mix on the go, and I get my daily nutritions no matter what. Because if there's one product that I recommend to elevate your health, it is AG1, and it has helped me out tremendously. So if you want to take ownership of your health, start with AG1. You try AG1, get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 and K2, and 5 AG1 travel packs free with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/bigthing. That's drinkag1.com/bigthing. Yeah, I love AG1. I'm so happy that they've been with us for so long. So
Yeah.
people. I always get those messages on the DMs when people are like, I tried this out, I love it, I've been using AG1 for a bit, I love Trade coffee. So when you do that, please let me know. I do check the messages. It helps tremendously. Let's shift into Ahsoka news, guys. I think that this is also part of that same report here. Oh, and lastly, by the way, of the Mandalorian and Grogu, I do think that Ludwig's going to be scoring that movie.
Oh,
'Cause
that would be amazing.
He didn't score part 3,
Yeah.
season 3.
Yeah.
In demand.
Yeah, he was highly in demand because he just did Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
And he's going to win for the Oscar. So
Yes.
you'll have an Oscar-winning composer for Mandalorian, and they have a really good relationship, and Disney has a good relationship with them. I think that's a I think that's a done deal. I don't think John Williams. John Williams did come back. Didn't say he's not retiring.
He's
I love him.
He's the best. He's like that guy is 93 years young.
It's crazy.
Yeah, he is. And I've been lucky enough to be in a room with that guy like 5 different times.
Oh, really?
And every time, like you see, look, I'm around people in my own family that at 80, where the hell am I?
Right.
This guy, he might as well be going partying at the
Perfect
clubs.
posture.
Everything.
I really hope he does the bowl again because I got really scared I missed that.
Have you never seen him?
No. If he does it, I am
Shannon
there.
took me 1 year.
Oh, legend.
I've been twice.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Dorina goes every year. I'm like, why didn't you take me?
I'd like to go if it's this
awesome.
year, especially if I'm here or not. But but I'd like to, at least if I come back to visit, to do it. All right, let's see. Let's do Ahsoka. Here it is. We kind of suspected this was coming, but it's nice to get some confirmation from Lucasfilm from time to time. Again, Miguel Fernandez over at Star Wars Newsnet. Coincidentally, it came out just a few days after a new interview with Rosario Dawson, which aired where the actress said that Lucasfilm was waiting for the new year to make a final decision on whether to move forward with the second season. With Ahsoka, executive producer Carrie Beck and showrunner Dave Filoni promoted to new positions in the light of the success of the series, it seemed like a no-brainer that they're doing more. At the same time, the new season will inevitably delay production on the Dave Filoni directed film. Or there you go. Which is set to culminate the stories from all the New Republic era shows. James Mangold also directing a film set 25,000 years in the past. That's interesting. That kind of goes back into everything that we were just talking about. I'm sure Miguel already has written me a DM at this point about telling me why and he's probably right. Where as he writes that, and if he thinks that Ahsoka is going to take up a lot of Filoni's time, obviously, from writing a feature film, directing a feature film, and getting that out by December 26 might be unlikely. So maybe it is going to be Favreau's movie in May of 2026, the Rey movie in December, and then this movie hits in May of 2027. Mm-hmm. You think that's more likely?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I do, because I think that it took a long time for the Ahsoka season 1 just to work on it. It's a big project, obviously. So I think that he's taking his time with it. I wouldn't be surprised if it takes a while, especially because of the sequence of the stories.
That's right. It's crucial to the lead into, like, now because him and Favreau work together, obviously, on all this stuff. What would be great is if they, inside of this movie, I agree with you, Mike, they have to make it accessible to the casual audience. However, what you could do inside of that film is say, hey, this is going to push us towards Ahsoka here, right? The next season. And then if you're a casual fan, you go, well, what's that? Well, you got to watch it on Disney. And then you're bringing in new fans. You're not lost from watching it. You just want to go watch the next one because it's going to lead into Ahsoka, which will then lead into Filoni's movie, which ties it all together. So I think he's probably right, Miguel, that the amount of time it's going to take to do all this, unless he writes all of it, films all of it, movie and show. The question is he going to change up his style at all? Because I wonder if he listens to the criticisms, or I wonder if he's just like, I like to kind of do it the way I'm going to do it. And I kind of do. Because there's and I like a lot of the stuff in Ahsoka. I do. There's some really silly writing in it, as I mentioned many times. Like, there's stuff that could have, but stuff that didn't need to be, stuff that could have been fixed like that little moments. And I wonder if is going to be less of the, because I mentioned it seems stuff that could work in Rebels, but that can't work in Rebels and animated, that can't work in live action. People are like, well, what does that mean? Because for some reason, certain things and certain movements and certain ways that things play in animated, you can get away with because of the way that your eye looks at it. And you go, okay, fine. And even certain little moments. And I don't think I would have minded it as much if maybe I would have, maybe I wouldn't. If Sabine uses the Force and then she chucks him across. And I just wish that he would have told her to do it. I would have been okay so much more with that scene if he would have been like, I have faith in you. Do it. Throw my ass. She's like, I just learned how to do that. Trust. And she's like, nah, I'm cool. I know how to do it now. I figured it out. It's like, what are you talking about? So I hope the writing's a little better. I am nervous about his movie. I hope that Filoni gets like a really seasoned screenwriter to write that film.
He's not going to.
You think he's going to write his film? I hope he doesn't.
So.
I really hope he doesn't.
It takes a rare person to know that they're really good at one thing and not the best at another. Like, you know, James Cameron's one of my favorites. He's not the best dialogue writer, and he will never not write his own dialogue. I'm not putting them in the same bin. Obviously,
Yeah, I
they're
don't mind his
completely
dialogue as
different.
much.
I don't
Yeah.
mind it as much. I think he pulls it off because he's James Cameron, and everything else makes it okay. But I do think if his movies could be punched up just a little bit with a person to come in, but he won't do that. I think most of these people are so, especially him, Filoni, creating these characters that he's working on specifically.
Yeah, I just see him like, no, actually, it's just like a really good screenwriter. They wouldn't say that.
They wouldn't say that.
Like, oh no.
Yeah.
I don't know. It makes me nervous.
Right.
But the story, it's so much. It's funny because he wants to. He clearly he's studied under the watch of George Lucas for so long, and he's got a lot of similarities where he's just such a good storyteller.
Yes.
But his dialogue is like not the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
So I wonder if he's gonna. But they can't. This is his first time ever directing a feature film. You can't let him write the whole full screenplay for it. TV is so different. You can't.
Did your daughter watch Ahsoka?
No, she's kind of bailed on Star Wars now. She's obsessed with Five Nights at Freddy and Stranger Things right now.
Okay.
Yeah, she's 12.
She skipped a level.
She's 12. She's like, she's like, it broke my heart because like she's like, Dad, I don't really think I'm into Star Wars anymore. I was like, oh.
Well, that sucks. And that I feel like that says something not very good though. Because this whole time we're just arguing that it's for the kids, and if like a 12-year-old isn't connecting, not that she's
a 12-year-old girl, who they're trying to get, that's and not that she's the test for all 12-year-old girls, but that's a pretty good test of a girl who has good taste and who likes movies and TV and isn't that captured.
And one of her parents is in the space.
Right.
It's in the household.
Right.
That's not great.
Also could be one of the reasons why, you know, it's just like, because we used to watch the shows together, and I think it was like Obi-Wan. She was watching a couple, and then she just couldn't give a crap about it. So
Yikes.
she didn't care. So, but again, she's obsessed with, right now, she's obsessed with that. I took her to see Mean Girls, but she's like, but she's a 12-year-old girl. She doesn't want to, their taste change.
Yeah.
Nate's kids.
Yeah.
And the youngest 11 is not into Star Wars
Your
anymore
bestie?
either. My best friend.
Yeah.
He had 3 boys, but they're teenage. The older ones, you know, they're kind of out. But the youngest is 11. He's Spider-Man, Fortnite, and stuff.
Right.
He's Star Wars. They used to watch them all together, and now he's like,
Yikes.
But again, it's a good point. It's a good point because there hasn't been anything that has been like, we gotta watch Star Wars.
Mando was it, the first one.
Star Wars fans will Star Wars fans will say, well, that's not true. There's a lot. I mean, the everything is awesome crew, but that's not true. There's everything. There's so much out there. You're just trying to nitpick it. It's like, no, there's stuff that if you're
into the Star Wars world,
then you might absolutely love certain things.
it.
You can find positives and things, and absolutely you should. But it's not grabbing the general audience the way that it used to.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, well, how do you explain the fact that the new trilogy made $1 billion? It's a Star Wars movie. So if you do it right and you market it the right way, that's why it's making the money that it's making.
Yeah.
You can get people into the audience, into the theater, because they're going to go, it's a new Star Wars
that's
movie
why you have
out.
the little girls showing up to Disney parks dressed as Rey.
Right.
Because you got them into the
You've got
theaters
them.
with that big movie.
And this is why I understand this. I understand the strategy behind doing a Rey movie. I
Yeah,
didn't
of course.
understand the strategy of releasing it first. So I'm glad that they changed that strategy. Because leading with the Rey movie first, after the divisiveness of that new trilogy, it's a risky move.
Yeah.
It's a risky move, especially with the kind of downfall that Disney has had over the last year. This is a smart move. And I don't think it's fair all the time. Well, that's dumb what they did. That's dumb what they did. You give them the credit when they're making good business decisions. They made a ton of bad ones last year, and I think that they know it.
Right.
This is a good business decision. You lead with this one. You do that, and then if it plays together and working, because I do think that Filoni will listen to Favreau when it comes to filmmaking, because Favreau's done it. He's done it many, 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 many times. Whereas Filoni's probably scared out of his mind to do a feature film because there's so much more on the line. Because when you're doing a show and people are tuning in, they're like, okay, we really want them. You want to have that water cooler moment. You'd like to see it do really well, but it's not gauged at the same thing, because tomorrow, if you're subscribed to Ahsoka, if you're subscribed to Disney Plus, and you're like, oh, I never watched Ahsoka, I'm gonna go watch that because I'm subscribed to it. But if it's been in the theater for 3 months, and you're like, I don't know, I don't really care to spend the money on this movie. People say it's fine. never had any interest. I'm not going to spend the money to go. That's how theater gauged through your dollars through especially like the first like 2 or 3 weeks. That's where you make your money. So he's probably like, there's going to be so much pressure on him, especially after this movie. So if I'm him, I want a writer. I want to get somebody I want to get an award nominated guy who knows this space, who understands it, who's going to follow my lead as a storyteller. So,
There's a little bird in here.
get out of here, bird. Thanks.
Oh, bye. Yeah, I'm with you. I just don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, we'll see.
But maybe because it is such a huge thing to tell and a lot of pressure to tell this next movie in one of the movies in the lineup. So maybe
We'll see.
I just doubt it.
There is more Star Wars news, guys. There's more Star Wars news. There's tons of stuff. Let me tell you about Steph, don't look yet because I want you to be surprised.
Okay.
All right, Tales of the Jedi. Tales of the Jedi is something that we loved. And there's a big rumor going around, Steph, and here's the rumor.
What?
Put Steph's face on here while I read this rumor. Star Wars Tales of the Jedi may receive company in the animated anthology front, as there are going to be similar shows about the Sith and bounty hunters.
Oh, wow.
Tales of the Sith and Tales of the Bounty Hunters might be in the pipeline.
That's very cool.
So,
That's very cool.
during a discussion about the first season of the show on the Star Wars Sessions podcast, the host of the program indicated at the 49-minute mark that they've heard that their listeners should anticipate additional follow-ups to Tales of the Jedi that fall outside the existing Jedi-focused format. Luke Blight says it's hard to come out and confirm stuff and things, but I think we're going to be seeing more Tales of projects, so I don't think that's ending anytime soon. Matt Hudson, again, we've heard Tales of something and it ain't Jedi, and it sounds pretty cool, and if it comes to fruition, I think that people are going to lose their minds if it is what we've heard. But conjecture, speculation aside, if we do get a Tales of the Jedi Season 2, I hope we get meaningful little vignettes like we did with the Dooku one. While initially playing coy about what Tales of something else was, Matt Hudson was potentially a little bit more transparent about these follow-up projects, and he said, making predictions about the future, I predict that Tales of series is going to get a new installment. Whether it's Tales of the Sith or Tales of the Bounty Hunters or something to show up a little late, I think we're going to get something new because it could get a little stale if it's just Jedi. Is this a prediction or is that a scoop? And then he said, oh, it's a prediction. Oh, okay. So who really knows? First of all, I don't even know who these people are.
Yeah.
But so who knows? I don't know. It's whether this is going to happen or not. I think doing something like this, I still would love for them to cross over and do a what if series for Star Wars.
That'd be so fun.
Why couldn't they? Why not? It's not beholden to Marvel. Why couldn't they do that? It's a Disney property. A what if series with Star Wars. I think you have more options to do stuff in that area than you even do with Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would rather them do Tales of the Sith. That's what I would rather watch.
Me too.
And
Bounty Hunters, I feel, has been overdone, right?
yeah, because I feel like for now, I still have a bad taste in my mouth about Boba, where that's what I thought was going to be the Tales of the Bounty Hunters in a really gritty way.
Yeah, Mike?
I'm indifferent.
Cool. Nice.
I'm indifferent.
Did you like Tales of the Jedi?
I did. Yeah. Okay. Like, hey,
it's cool.
I think it's Star Wars and there's something for everybody.
Yeah.
Right? You
So
know?
I would like to see Tales from the Sith because that would be a way to, tell me to shut up because you could do Tales of the Sith where you don't have to do Palpatine. You could do Palpatine, you could do Plagueis, you could do all this stuff, but you could go back. You could do Revan, you could do Bane, you could do all that stuff.
For you guys,
Yeah.
I could see that because I'm just trying to, there's so much out there now. I'm just trying to look at everything and my first gut was reaction of Bounty Hunters, but I was like, well, we got a lot of that.
Yeah.
But we really don't know a lot about the Sith.
No.
And seeing it again, they weren't Sith specific, but Balin and Shin, and how audiences gravitated to them. People loved them.
And then they just disappeared.
And then it was like, and I hope for season 2 of Ahsoka we don't see Balin. I think the way that he ended looking off in the distance as like his story, like
You think so? You don't
if
you don't
Rey
think they
was
should
alive,
recast?
if Rey was alive, absolutely. But I think,
Yeah.
it sucks. But
Yeah.
because those were the two characters that I loved in that show.
The question is if they didn't even need to go back to that planet anymore. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I think had he been alive still, you absolutely go down that path and explore more with that. But
Right. Okay, but the Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Sith, all that stuff. What do you guys think? Do you think that's I think it's a good move. I think also because it's not one of these things that's going to necessarily move the needle, but it's a great piece of Star Wars content if they do it right. Because I like Tales of the Jedi very much so. And the other thing, nothing against Bad Batch. I thought the last season was really good. I'm just tired of that period again of the Clone Wars and the Clone Troopers and all. It's like, if we're going to see some more animation in Star Wars, let's do stuff like this because that really worked for me. The Ahsoka stuff in the Tales of the Jedi, all that. I thought it was a smart way to lead. But Tales of the Sith, I mean, yeah, because that's the other thing you can do because you're never going to get a Star Wars movie with a villain in the lead. You might get a Star Wars show. I mean, they were supposed to apparently lead the Acolyte with the villain, but apparently that changed. I don't know. Way more possible to do it in a show. You're never going to do it in a movie. They're never going to do it.
why?
For a Star Wars movie,
I don't disagree with you
because of what we said beforehand. This is a $200 million movie, right? The stats always say, why is the average person going to go and put their money down to watch a villain story?
Yeah.
They want to see the good guys win. That's the classic mentality of it. If it's normally what movie can you name of a big budget movie that leads with a villain?
Joker.
Sure.
But
right.
I'll never watch
But
it
in my
again.
head, I was like, there is no Star Wars villain that conjures up Joker. You've got Vader, but Vader's
if you did
a good guy.
If you did a Vader movie, that's the one villain that you probably could do that with.
Yeah.
But people are like, we got a Vader movie. It's the stupidest comment. I hate it when it's like, we got a Vader movie. It was 1 through 3. No, it
but
wasn't.
I get that though.
He was Anakin in the first one.
I know.
To transition into Vader. I'm talking about the Vader that is conflicted. The path.
I know what you're saying.
The Lords of the Sith one where he's just becoming Vader. He's battling this thing inside the suit, eradicating all the Jedi. That movie's never been done. We've never seen a Vader movie that way. We've seen the what's it called? I can't even know the name. The origin story. We've seen the origin story of Vader, but we've never seen a Vader movie, a Darth Vader movie. So if they did that, and you made it dark enough, like Rogue One ending Vader, that movie would have a shot to get people into the theater for sure. But a random villain that people don't know that only we know, it wouldn't work.
Of course.
Anyway, so I asked you guys, what do you think? All the stuff that we talked about here so far. All right, so let's get to a couple other stories here. Well, you choose, Steph. Do you want to stick? We can end with Star Wars, not do any other stories. And there's this piece that Star Wars News Net did about Skeleton Crew, or we can dive into some other movie stories, and there's some stories that you can choose from. We have, speaking of Avatar sequels begin filming shortly. We got Madame Web final costume revealed. You've got Tom Cruise has a deal at Warner Brothers, and what do you want? You choose. You want to stick with Star Wars?
Yeah, stick with Star Wars.
Well, let's do it. We'll wait today.
Boom.
Today's a full Star Wars show, unless we finish this. Mike wants to do
I'm joking.
All right,
The
so
Top Gun guy.
this is Skeleton Crew, and this is this is a news piece from an editorial from Jay Gooderl on Star Wars Newsnet. 2024 could serve as a pivotal year for Star Wars with The Mandalorian Season 3 and Ahsoka both airing last year to mixed reception. And with leadership changes at Lucasfilm, it seems that Star Wars could be in the midst of a transitional period, not to mention the slew of future films to premiere over the next few years. And conversely, Bob Iger said he wanted to pull back certain franchises. There are a lot of changes going on. While the next few years of Star Wars do look helpful, the future isn't here yet. So Star Wars is in a bit of a bind at this point, as Mike said before, with a larger emphasis put on movies and Disney seeming to take fewer risks. There are undoubtedly going to be a few projects that fall between the cracks. 2024, it could be that the performance of this year's slate of projects could affect Lucasfilm's Star Wars strategy for the future. The success of this year's TV shows, especially Skeleton Crew, could impact Lucasfilm's TV strategy going forward. Skeleton Crew and its creative risk. Here is the piece on Skeleton Crew. When Skeleton Crew was pitched, it seemed like a surefire success. The original pitch was Stranger Things in space, with Spider-Man Homecoming director John Watts at the helm. Later, they'd refined the pitch, comparing it to Amblin Entertainment coming-of-age stories from the 80s. Actor Jude Law was attached to it from the start. Acclaimed directors, the Daniels and David Lowery, would step in to direct a few episodes. The names attached are certainly impressive, but maybe not huge blockbuster draws. Nonetheless, it looked like Skeleton Crew would be a hit. But within a few years, audiences feeling surrounded by Star Wars, Disney Plus, and streaming services began to change. As the time went on, superhero fatigue also became more prevalent. More and more audiences grew tired of established franchises and sequels, and they sought something else. Even huge blockbuster franchises like Marvel, DC, and Indiana Jones were not invulnerable to a few financial blows. One can debate how well Star Wars has fared. The last few years have undoubtedly delivered a lot of fan-pleasing shows, such as Ahsoka and The Mandalorian, but take a look at some of the responses from casual fans and critics could tell a different story. But perhaps one of the biggest blows was Andor and its lower-than-expected viewership numbers. I don't know if that's true, though, anymore. I wonder if when he writes that, if he's talking about when it came out the gate, because from what I heard the numbers picked up tremendously after a few months. So I don't know if that's accurate. Andor is one thing. It's a series tied to a well-received Star Wars film. It boasted great critical acclaim and awards reception. It has a clear ending with Season 2 being its last. This is completely my opinion, but if Skeleton Crew were to receive the same viewership numbers as Andor, it might not look good. I do not wish for Skeleton Crew to fall whatsoever. In fact, I'm extremely looking forward to it, with Jude Law as one of my favorites, but Skeleton Crew's viewership numbers will most likely affect Lucasfilm's TV strategy moving forward. If it does well, which I hope it does, I hope that Lucasfilm will continue to green light big adventures. It comes in 2024. The entertainment industry is currently at a crossroads. One could argue that the quality and quantity of content out there, movies, TV, streaming services, has never been higher. On the other hand, one could point to the number of layoffs, strikes, closures, and financial failures as a sign of declining industry. It's impossible to know which direction it'll come, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so that's from Jay Goodall. I would like to see, as far as those numbers go, if Jay's talking with Andor specifically, if he's talking about when it initially debuted, the numbers it was like not great. But then it started getting Emmy buzz and all this other thing, and the performances and the buzz. And from what I heard, that the numbers started to spike on streaming. Going back to my point, what I was talking about, where when you're having streaming numbers, you can't look at TV like movies. You can't go, well, the first month and 2 months of the numbers were bad, so that it was bad. You can't. You have to look at it today and say, what are they now? Because somebody could find people are still watching Battlestar Galactica. The show's been off the air for 10 years. And so, it's like Friends still, so it's very different. It's very different, like, especially after Matthew Perry passed away. Like, Friends got another boost. So streaming, your numbers can change on the drop of a dime. But I don't disagree that this year they're going to be I think it's more about Acolyte than it is Skeleton Crew, to be completely honest with you, because Acolyte is a brand new series that comes out first in a different time period. And the rumors are this show costs like $200 million to make. The rumor is they got like Keanu Reeves in the freaking thing. The rumor is it's not rumor. It's all location. That's gonna, to me, shift more of a Lucasfilm going, well, wait a minute. We spent all this money on real locations, on actors. We can't do that anymore. Let's stick to the volume. Or the flip side, the show crushed. It is one of the most watched shows. It does very well the way that it's shot. They stopped doing the volume stuff. I think Skeleton Crew. I think Skeleton Crew is pushing a boulder up a hill. It's called Skeleton Crew. It doesn't even say Star Wars Skeleton Crew. It's that's going to be tough. But Steph, you hear all this. What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of am with you. I think Skeleton Crew, most people, unless you're a really big Star Wars fan, have no idea what that is or that it's coming, even with Jude Law attached to it. I think that will help, especially some of like the moms who might want to watch with their kids because moms love Jude Law. But I think it is more, I think this show will really be dependent on how they market it. I think it will be important to see what kind of trailer comes out and then the hype around it. Because right now there's really no hype unless you're in the space.
Right. And I don't think also, I mean, because that's to just, I don't want to combat this guy's piece the whole time, but I think that it's more because if the Acolyte does really well and this doesn't, if you're Lucasfilm, like, how do you, well, like we have to, because Skeleton Crew didn't do good, but Acolyte did do really well. How do you just put the onus on Skeleton Crew? You can't. You have to look at the way that each one was shot. Now, they both do bad, and people don't care about them in general. I think they're going to definitely reevaluate Star Wars TV for sure, and they got to do more things that people know and recognize, or take stuff from their movies that are coming out, and maybe just focus on. I mean, everything in their movies is connected to the TV universe mostly. I don't know. What do you feel about when you hear this?
I feel at this time of the year and where we are, I have a feeling we're missing a big talking point. And I think the studios have realized that streaming is not it anymore. I think these shows, like Skeleton Crew, 2 years ago we were at Celebration when they were hyping this, and nothing's still on it. Like, we have it in a trailer. It's just like Acolyte.
Well, the strike.
I know.
Yeah.
But the strike doesn't prevent it from being out there in the world, the ether of it dominating conversations. It doesn't.
Sure.
I think when you think about, like, and I say this at everything, like, who cares about Agatha Covenant of Arkansas? Like, no one cares talking about that anymore. Marvel's not announcing more TV shows. DC's got their own little thing, and they're quiet, keeping their cards close to their chest. Star Wars, Acolyte, and Skeleton Crew were announced, shot, but they've pivoted into movies, and we're going to bring the movies, and we're going to the movies.
Because movies bring in money.
I think we are at that turning point where all the studios have been like, yeah, we'll still do streaming shows. It's not our bread and butter anymore.
Right.
We realize.
Right. Well, as Chapek was really focusing and make as many as you possible, I think rightfully so, Iger's going, all right, you want to make a show, make one that counts.
Yeah.
Right.
Make one that counts. And what's the show? You guys have confidence that's your show.
Yeah.
You think that's the one that's going to hit? Then put that one out. I think, like you said, these were already shot, they're already planned. So
perfect example. Back in the day, with making a pilot, like, these shows didn't make pilots, and we shopped them, we showed them. It's like, all right, we're going with Skeleton Crew. They said, we want 10 episodes, greenlit, greenlit. They didn't come with showrunners going, this is my pitch.
That's a good point.
We're going to make 10 Star Wars pilots, or we're going to make 6 Star Wars pilots. 2 of those are going to series.
Right.
They said, we're giving you 6 Star Wars shows. They're all going to series.
Right.
And we talked, like, Marvel, the whole big thing was like, wow, you're realizing you can't run a show without a showrunner? Oh, okay, gonna fix that now? I think these 2 are the last holdovers of the old Chapek era of, and I just feel like, until you just talked about it, I'm like, oh yeah, Skeleton Crew. When's that coming out again?
Right.
When is it coming out?
December.
A year from now?
No, this year.
A year.
About a year. Yeah. It was supposed to come out.
It was 3 years ago they shot it. Though.
No, they didn't shoot it that
2022 Celebration. They were talking like, hey, we just shot. We have no footage. But this is
20, yeah. So it'll be
3.5 years.
What kind of math do you have?
2022 Star Wars Celebration,
and comes out in 2024. It's 2 years, guy.
You said 2025.
No, I didn't. So this year, December.
Okay. Yeah. So
your math was right about the year thing.
2.5 years.
Right. Okay. So that's a lot. Well, again,
for a 6-episode series,
strike wise, and I think it's a matter of
they were done before the strike.
Well, they were
supposed
to. Yeah, they were, but they were supposed to come out. They didn't want to promote a show during the strike. They wouldn't do that, and I think that was supposed to come out last year. Skeleton Crew.
And did that
but they shifted it.
Then?
I think strategy. On playing it, because I think everything else got pushed. That if you would have put Skeleton Crew out now without this Mandalorian thing, without everything else too, without anything else.
But isn't it a standalone thing?
No, it's connected to that universe. It's connected to the Filoni-verse. That's why.
Okay. Right.
That's why.
Okay.
So that being connected, and that's another reason that if it does hit, and you can get Jude Law in your movie. In your Filoni movie, that'll work. So it's supposed to be like this Avengers kind of style movie, his Filoni movie. It's supposed to be like everything kind of coming together.
Hey, all right. What do I know?
So I don't know. But that's it, guys. That's everything that we're going to cover. And it was all Star Wars today. It was tons of it.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to throw those comments in there, do that. You want to help out the show, whether you want to join Patreon, you want to get one of our wonderful sponsors here today, that helps a lot. And you get something for yourself. So hit that. There's a link in the description, and I always pin the sponsors as the top comment. To thank my panel here today, starting with Steph Sabra. Steph, where can they find you?
At Steph Sabra on the World Girls tonight, Wednesday.
Nice. Okay. On Wednesday, Mike.
Yeah, buddy. At Mike Kalinowski.
That's so good. Okay.
Hey,
thanks.
Yeah,
Shut your mouth.
buddy.
Just shut your mouth.
Appreciate
Jesus.
it. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you on the flip side. Bye.